isn't the fundamental issue here that the economy is strong, but it's been shut down? So these, yes, they're they're distressed, but nevertheless, the banks still have no option, right?
That's right. So the banks after 2008, 2009, under the Volcker rules and under the stress test rules, something called the Texas ratio, have to have a certain number of assets and cash on hand at all times. And if they don't meet this magic equation, they get put onto different levels of distress, to the point where if they get to a certain tipping point, the government will shut them down. And you can actually Google Texas ratio and see exactly where different banks.
Every bank is. And now, and so is that ratio has, I'm not sure which direction it goes, but it's today banks are much better capitalized than they were in the pre-2008 era to be able to carry this.
That's right.
Further before they run into federal issues.
There's a couple of reasons why. One is that they're actually better at managing cash reserves and asset reserves. But the other reason is that because they move quickly through bad assets, they no longer hold bad assets as long as they used to. And so going back to what we were saying earlier, in essence, they're mandated to either get them off their books, refinance them, or the one thing that I think is a great opportunity if you're sitting on dry powder, like I mentioned earlier, is to buy the paper.
Yeah, the notes. I was just going to ask you that.
That's right. Is to sell those notes and sell them to people that can maybe pay 60, 70, 80 cents on the dollar or maybe less. And they go through and they're the ones that go and foreclose or put a receiver.
That is exactly what happened during the last downturn. As you know, that's how you and I met. I transacted on over $1 billion of those notes.
That's right. I remember.
But the issue now is the banks are better off because they get them off the books quickly or more quickly. Okay, I get that. Right. But this is a tsunami. Right, this isn't just ones and twosies. This is every single loan potentially on a bank's books could be headed this way, or a lot of them, right?
A lot of them. I think that there'll be a priority list at some point that will come out, either mandated by the government or created by the banks themselves, where optics for banks do matter. So Wells Fargo is still reeling from the silly opening up multiple accounts scandal that they had a couple of years ago. Otherwise, though, Wells Fargo is a very sound, very well-run bank, other than this consumer nightmare that they ended up in, that they're dealing with the optics now. So banks learn their lesson, and they're not going to want to foreclose on small families. They're going to probably prioritize the least optically bad property to foreclose on, whether industrialized warehousing, commercial space, those types of things. But eventually they'll be forced to work their way down all the way to the homeowner
that's right. But there's a difference though. I think now is that the only thing I recall that was optically very bad was foreclosing on families and kicking them out.
Family homes, yep.
Yes, but any kind of commercial real estate was they had to do it, right? And that's what I worked through intensively last time.